The reason many Amazon sellers don't know how to get sales is because they don't know how to take advantage of winning this one thing. This one thing will literally make or break your business because you can't get sales without it. It's called the buy box, and this video is going to break down the top 3 things that you need to win the buy box, because if you're not winning the buy box, then you're not going to succeed with selling on Amazon. With that being said, let's get into the video so you can see exactly how you can win this, maximize your sales, and succeed with Amazon FBA. And as always, if you got value, please drop a like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. Let's get into it.
All right, guys. So the buy box is the holy grail to selling on Amazon. And if you don't know how to get the buy box, you're going to struggle a lot. So there are 3 main factors that I'm going to cover in this video that impact your buy box percentage. And if you don't know what the buy box is, you see this listing right here. You scroll down and you see delivery. There is one seller, he has the buy box, or she has the buy box. That is the featured offer. So out of all of these sellers, this seller has the featured offer. The customer is going to click on this product and they're going to buy from this seller. They're not going to buy from the other 28 because they have the buy box. Now, the buy box can vary based on the side of the country they're in. That's a possibility. So the buy box in New York could be different than the buy box in California, which a lot of people don't know. But we're going to break down these 3. So the first one that plays a major impact on buy box percentage. Now, if I show you exactly what the buy box percentage is and keep a offers tab, so your goal is to get this highest percentage here. As you can see, this seller has the top percentage. They have 26% of the buy box. And the first thing that plays a huge factor is the price. So you can see that price does not mean that you get the buy box. You just have to be competitive. So what I mean by this, you have to be in this range of 30, let's say 36 to about 37 or so. And you can see that it really doesn't matter because they have the highest average price and they have the most percentage of buy box. So you just have to be in that range. And actually, the other 2 things matter a lot more when it terms of buy box, but all 3 of these definitely matter a lot. But as you can see, you don't have to have the highest price or the lowest price to win the buy box. That's a huge misconception that sellers make, and they lose out on lots of profit because they think they have to be the lowest price to get the buy box. So the other 2, or the next one that we want to mention here, is the stock count of the seller. So the more stock you have theoretically means the more buy box that you will get. And obviously you want to take this with a grain of salt, because let's say this listing right here sells 200 times a month. This is one of the variations. So this does not sell 17,000. This listing sells about 200 of that 17,000. As you can see, it's one of these variations here. And for example, you don't want to come on with 100 units on a listing that sells 200 times a month when there's 30 other sellers on the listing. So, you know, maybe this seller Midwest has more stock, or they're honestly could just be more consistently in stock. And that's what it seems like. And that's probably why they're winning the buy box, is because they're staying in stock. So you want to make sure you have good systems for tracking replenishables so you can stay in stock at all times. And one of my favorite tools is using Seller Board for that, because you can essentially track how many days of stock you have left if you're out of stock. That's $20 a month, but if you wanted to do a free version of that, you can set up a Google Sheet and then put all of your best sellers or the things that are selling well for you into that Google Sheet and start to track your replenishables so you can stay in stock, because that definitely plays a huge factor. As you can see, these sellers right here, 2 of the top 3 right here, they have a bunch of stock and they're always in stock. So they're buying about 30 units or so on a 200 unit per month listing, which is pretty normal. That's about what I do. Obviously, if you're a beginner, you might want to do about half of that or around half of that as a test buy, especially. It does look like that they did test buy this first, though. So test buys are definitely important, but sometimes I will come on with about 20 units on a listing that sells 200 times a month if I'm pretty confident in the other sellers here. But they tested about 7 to 8. It looks like this seller must have tested around 5 to 10 or so, it looks like. So that really matters, is the stock. You got to stay in stock. And the first one we mentioned is your price. But stock and staying in stock impacts your buy box, because if this seller was to go out of stock, they would actually be hurt by the algorithm when they come back in stock. So staying in stock is super, super important. And now the next thing that is really, really important, and a lot of beginner sellers struggle with this last one, is checking their delivery date and also their delivery method. So if you're doing FBA or FBM, you have to be a slightly lower price if you're doing FBM versus FBA, because it's like usually like a 5% difference or so in order to win the buy box. It's hard to match the buy box or match the price of an FBA seller and win the buy box, because the algorithm does favor FBA sellers, which is why you kind of have to do a slightly lower price for your FBM if you're FBMing. But the main thing here that we want to mention is your delivery date. So if we go into the seller tab here, we can take a look at their delivery dates. And obviously there are sellers that are back ordered, and that simply means like they sent it into FBA and it's not ready for check-in. So those sellers are not going to win buy box over the ones. And I'm going to look for one that's back ordered right now, but obviously you can see a lot of these are shipping Monday. I don't have Prime on this account, so usually it's like 2 days. You want that 2-day delivery on your listings if you're looking at it on a Prime account. This is a perfect example of one that's back ordered, so they're probably in transit to the fulfillment center, or they're probably in FC transfer, which means they're kind of going around to different fulfillment centers before they're ready to stock in. So this seller is not going to win buy box over one that's on May 13th. And you want to be patient with this. You want to wait till you're fully checked in. You don't want to just lower the price in order to get the buy box because you have a farther delivery date out. Do not panic. You just kind of want to be patient on the process and wait for it to fully check in for that 2-day delivery. And the reason why is you're not going to get paid until the item's shipped anyway. So why would you tank the price because you have a farther out delivery date? So that is one thing I see a lot of beginner sellers do, is they're like back ordered and they're just kind of panicking to make sure, because they see this crazy delivery date. They're like, oh, if I lower the price, I'll get a sale. You want to stay firm on that price and make sure you are on the buy box. And if we also look at the price chart here, you can kind of see a good idea of like what the buy box is selling for. Obviously, there are sellers that definitely get a higher price, but you don't want to be the guy who does this. As you can see, if we zoom in right here, there's like a seller who's at $35.90, and this seller's getting the buy box at $37. Chances are that seller that's at $35.90 did not have a close enough delivery date. Maybe they were back ordered like I was showing you before, and they just tanked the price a little bit to just try to get sales. They might have gotten some of the buy box because of that, but at the end of the day, you're just losing $2 in profit. So you want to make sure you're matching that line, if not kind of going slightly above that line. But yeah, so that is definitely one major, major thing that you want to pay attention to, is not be that seller. And these three, to summarize, it's stock, price, and delivery date. These are the most important factors into winning the buy box. And if you master on how to maximize these by staying in stock, keeping a competitive price, but not too low of a price like that seller we just talked about, and also waiting for that delivery date to be on a 2-day delivery, or maximizing your FBM templates. So, you can offer like a quicker delivery. If you go into your merchant fulfilled templates, offer free shipping. That definitely helps too. But you can kind of go into your merchant fulfilled templates if you have a pro account for Amazon, and you can modify those delivery dates to make them closer, or you can change it by certain regions. So like, let's say you're in Florida and you want to do the Southeast as like a faster delivery date. That can help you win buy box as well. Those are like different little hacks you can manipulate for FBM. But yeah, delivery date's super, super important. So those three are something that you want to make sure you are maximizing as much as possible. And if you do, you're definitely going to succeed with selling on Amazon. So hope you guys got some value from this video. And if you did, please drop a like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. See you on the next one.